Hi guys and welcome to Bomb Anime.
It's your girl Ruka.
And Big Boy Sam here bringing you our part 2 on season 4 of Overlord.
So we're covering episodes 2, 3 and 4. So I just want to say that Philip, oh my god, okay, you don't know about Philip right now. I'm not going to give any spoilers about his character, but what you saw in the episodes is basically what you're gonna get. You're gonna get more of this. And poor Hilma is really getting the brunt of this because he's her responsibility. And she has been through enough. But this dude is giving her nothing but headache with his stupidity and his self-inflated sense of worth. He's basically a massive narcissist. He thinks he's amazing. He can do no wrong. And poor Hilma is just having a heart attack every time he does something stupid, every time he pisses off Albedo, every time he steps out of line, and boy will he step out of line.
So the dress, Albedo's dress was fire.
Fire!
Just had to say well done to the guys, because obviously, look, it's no surprise. Me and Ruka already know Wagwan in it because we've read everything so far. I didn't expect this dress. This dress is something else. And I am, wow.
This is the best Albedo's ever looked.
Yeah, period. Hands down. Now, back to Philip. You guys don't even know. You think it's bad now? Okay, so Philip thinks he's big things now because his brother's dead and he's now set to inherit the rest of his family's nobility when his father passes and so on and so forth. It's only one village and he thinks he's big things. It's only one village and he thinks he can get Albedo. And he thinks he's going to brokerage a deal with the Sorceress King who doesn't even know he exists. If you're thinking about the guys that are the most delusional guys that you've ever known in your life, times them by 20 and you might not even be close. This is that guy, fam.
But you can understand why he's like that. He is a third son, so typically in these type of nobility families, the first son is going to inherit everything, so they're the ones that have to learn about all of the politics. They're the ones who have to rub elbows with other people to stay connected. Second sons may be involved in some way, but the third son is really like, why are you here? Why did I have you? He has no training, he doesn't know about the politics, and on top of that, he has that kind of thing that everybody has. You know, when your president or your prime minister is running the country and you're like, oh, I could do a better job. Maybe you can't, because you wouldn't know what you were doing. Yeah, they're f***ing up. Yeah, they're useless, but still, would you do better? We don't know. He's kind of in that situation where he's like, oh, I can do better. But his dad, who is much older, actually knows what he's doing. He's been able to keep their village afloat for all these years. He has relied on the cooperation of the people that are near them. He distributes his crops amongst people for favors and that kind of thing. He is connected, not properly because obviously they're still small, but he's connected enough to be able to pull strings to get his son into this massive event. Yes, he had to call in lots of favors, but his son does not appreciate any of the hard work that it takes to get to that point. Even if he doesn't think that his dad is doing as well as somebody else, his dad's not super rich. It's because that kind of thing is hard. It's hard to do, but his son has no knowledge of that, and that's partially his dad's fault. Because his son is like an extra, he obviously didn't put any work into him, but now your other two sons are dead. Now you've got this dude that you didn't put work into, and he's kind of the product of your neglect.
You reap what you sow, especially when you're a farmer, innit? So, put it that way. Philip is Philip because of Daddy Philip doing what Daddy Philip did.
But also because he sucks as a person.
He does suck as a person.
People could be in the same situation and not suck as much as Philip sucks, because he will suck, guys.
So I've mentioned this before about Ainz Algon, and I've said that Ainz basically is using the power that he has that he doesn't know he has, which is ruling perfectly, being an overlord perfectly. He doesn't need to know the information until he needs to know the information, and it just seems to fall in his lap how he can magically be at the same place that Jerklev is trying to plot against destroying him. Come on, bro. I said it in season 1, I said it in season 2, I've said it in season 3, and I'm gonna say it again. Ainz is using the Overlord ability without knowing he's using the Overlord ability, and you can't convince me otherwise, because it's just too perfect, fam. It's just too perfect.
For now. However, I actually don't think that this is just coincidence and that he's just this really lucky person. He is a great ruler, and that's not because he's just a fabulous person. It's because he knows that he is not smart enough to do this himself. He has so many people around him giving him advice, giving him nudges in the right direction. If it wasn't for the Guildmaster, Einzak, he wouldn't have gone to the Colosseum. The only reason why he wasn't known that he was here was because he knew that he didn't know about the etiquette, and so he was trying to sneak around behind the scenes, and he would never have shown himself had it not been for Einzak saying, you know what, this would be actually a good idea. And that's because Einzak is looking at this adventurers guild from a business perspective. He's actually judged it in that way, and you can see why, you know, he's just a great person to have around. And not just that, he's got all of the NPCs that are great in different areas as well, and they're all there giving him advice. So of course he's gonna end up in these really great situations because he knows when to listen to people who have more knowledge than he has. And on top of that, some of his ideas actually work really well as well, and all of it together contributes to the whole of these perfect coincidences happening.
Okay, Ruka, I'll give you that. There is some element of self-knowledge as well as self-improvement, because we already seen him reading books at night trying to level up his intelligence. We already know that he's doing his best by his people, trying to get them to have holidays and stuff like that. We already know he's doing a good thing. He's trying his best, and it just so happens he's got 100% loyalty while doing it, which is great. Ainz beat up the strongest person in the Empire. The one person that even the slain Theocracy said, you know what, why don't we get him on our side and try and beat up Ainz? He duppied him like it was nothing, killed the guy, and raised him back up. If that don't say I could take your country whenever I feel like, bruv, Jerkniv is correct. He's right for the wrong reasons. Jerkniv going, yeah, we're vassal state, please, no mass, we can't take no more, it's over.
However, in the book, loads of people were asking to become a vassal state in the first place before Jerkniv actually brought it up to Ainz, so they could have really shown that Jerkniv was more resistant to the idea until he realized that this ain't a fight that you can win, bro. Now, one thing that I really like about Mariama is that we are following the villains. They do so many bad things, and I feel like in the books more than in the anime, you can see the effect that Ainz's decisions and his actions have on people's real lives. Jerkniv's despair, the way his hair was falling out, the way he couldn't get out of bed, the way he has these constant bags under his eyes, his mood going up and down because he's just so terrified, like he's constantly afraid. And also Hilma as well has the same kind of reaction, and you saw it a little bit in the anime where as soon as Philip was saying, oh, do you think I could marry Albedo? Hilma she was terrified. You can't even explain the emotion that she was going through. And when she realized how upset Albedo was, she was just completely terrified. You can tell that in her mind she's going to be thinking about that torture that she went through, which was horrific, really horrific stuff. These are the bad guys, but you still, as the viewer, want the best for these bad guys, and you can't help but love them all. So really, Mariama is excellent in getting you to really root for the bad guys with your whole chest.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, look, if you read some of the descriptions, especially like in the earlier seasons where we got Splat, where he sent the little goats around, and how Mariama actually described the people just about to get squashed. Yeah, you would understand the way that the lives of the common people were affected there. When you actually understand what Jaldabaoth was doing in the town, you'd understand how the lives of the common people were being affected there. And yet, these are the guys that were going, no, please don't kill Ainz. We want Ainz to win because, as they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And Ainz has all the good intentions possible. I want to create a utopia.
Oh, okay. Please, come on. This was a whim thought after all of the tragedy in its wake. But also, Mariama has this great way of still making you root for the bad guys, even when he gives you it from the perspective of the victims. Like, even in the earlier seasons where the party encroaches on his territory and he's like, oh, are you greedy? You know, that whole thing. Yep. And the girl lied, but she was there for her sisters because her parents were basically using all of the money, and you heard that story and you really wanted her to live.
Oh, Did you? Okay.
Yes!
Okay,
Come on,
you
like,
did.
seriously.
I mean, I couldn't care.
You want her to live, she's there for the right reason, and still, her life ends, and you're still on their side. Like, damn. Am I a bad guy?
Am I the villain? Yes, I'm the villain. This is why Overlord will always have a special place in my heart. And I know this season's going to be a banger. I do have a few gripes so far. I feel like they're not concentrating enough on stuff. Okay, to my manga heads who actually watch us, yeah, you lot understand that sometimes when you're watching an anime after reading the manga or the source material, you're like, no, they should have done it like that. No, yes, there's a little bit of that going on here, and I will hold my hands up and say it. I am one of you guys with this one. However, doesn't it feel a bit like quick?
Yeah, I was actually saying this to you when we were watching it. It does feel like it's kind of moving too fast, and I think that's because they're missing out some things that I feel are important to the overall story, like the overall feeling that you're supposed to get from, like, what I got when I was reading it. I know that you can't always do it exactly the same, and that when you're moving it from a light novel to an anime, there's gonna be things missed out. You can't fight it, like, they can't fit absolutely everything in. That's actually why I kind of appreciated episode 4 a lot, because they went back a lot of the times. They were flashing backwards and forwards and giving us a little bit more context to things that had already happened. Also, I would say there's a YouTuber, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I will leave it on the screen. He's really, really great with Overlord content, things that have been missed out, and just deep dives into everything Overlord, basically, literally everything.
Economic, social, political, where they get their, bruv, look, I'm a huge fan
all
of this guy.
All of the Pleiades, all of their powers, he's great. So if you're interested in finding out things that are missed out of the books, but you don't want to read them, his is a great channel to go check out.
I love this guy.
I just wanted to quickly talk about Jerkniv, because I love how he's just slowly unraveling, and yet Ainz is over here being like, oh, you're my friend, aren't we allies? Like, we're together. And it's just hilarious. I found it hilarious when I was reading the books as well. The fact that Jerkniv is just on the edge of insanity, totally terrified of Ainz, and Ainz is like, my bestie. it's just fucking hilarious.
He is filling his head, like, it made it's a great image, especially some things that happen in the book.
And Jerkniv has gone from severely underestimating Ainz to severely overestimating Ainz, and that just adds to the hilarity for me.
Oh, is he overestimating?
Yes, he thinks that Ainz knows all of his plans already, and he doesn't, but maybe Demi-Urge does.
That's what I'm saying. Is he underestimating? It might not be Ainz, but someone's close. Like, you get what I mean? I feel like Jerkniv made the right move, especially when he decided to be a vassal state. I know I said it earlier, but look, it's very hard. Like, look at the kingdom. The kingdom could have been a vassal state, because Ainz has parked his bus right in the middle of your country, mate. No response. And you know you can't take him. And yet you're too stubborn to say, yo, vassal state.
Yeah, that would have been me. Like, after that massacre, I would have been like, yo.
What do you want? I'll give you everything.
Sometimes know when to quit. I mean, I know, like, you want to be, like, patriotic, it's your country, all this, that, and the other, but sometimes know when to quit. And this is just one of those times when you need to quit.
Quick side note as well. You know, with the Slain Theocracy, when they were having that little meeting in the middle saying, oh my God, he killed 130,000 people with one spell. They don't do this in the book either, so it's not even a spoiler, because I just want them to acknowledge the fact that he stopped the spell. Anyone please, just acknowledge the fact that that spell did not go to completion, because if it did, it would have been a write-off. That country would have been wiped off the map. I'm just saying, hold tight, my boy Ainz in it, standard.
So now Ainz has physically announced to everyone that he will be hiring, well, not really hiring, but he'll be accepting adventurers, helping them become real adventurers and investing in their growth. So that's great. However, he also showed that he can resurrect people. I feel like we should have had some form of outrage from the people, considering that he did kill all of those other people and did not choose to resurrect any of them. But, you know, I guess that's a story for a different anime that chooses to go there. And on that note, thank you so much for joining us today.
And comment down below who your favourite Floor Guardian is. And don't forget to like, subscribe and share.
Peace.